listening to Acoustic Songs Live. I'm your host, T. Mitchell Bell, here from WNJR Studios, and we have Nathan Zoob here playing, coming in to play some music for us. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Sorry about that. I forgot to hit the buttons. All these technical things to do. So, thanks for making the trip.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a lovely trip up here. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's a great day. So normally I ask guests to dig in and play something right off the top. What do you want to do for us?
Sure. I'm going to start with a song called Rosalina.
This is Nathan Zoob here on Acoustic Songs Live.
Was Jesus from the line of Cain? Did all his children curse his name? The world will make a mark of fame and a cross for all the dreamers. One child comes to throw a stone. One picks it up to tag along. Does no one dare to throw alone except for Rosalina? 'Cause I think this town is a sinner waiting to be scorned. I think this town is a shrine at which to mourn. And if I can't see a muscle twitch, I am calling it for the mud, and let others ask the sum of it. I won't stick around for cleanup. Rosalina, Rosalina. While other thieves would dust their eyes, I dream of all I'd leave behind. And it's not as though the hours were mine, but I am certain I was cheated. 'Cause I think this town is a shadow of the land that we were promised. I think this town is a lie, if I'm being honest. And if I can't breathe and you can't breathe, then the problem is with the air, not me. My legs will give and my palms will bleed, but I know what I need now. 'Cause if I don't leave, then you can't grieve. And I promised you a fantasy. If I let this town get the best of me, bury me, Rosalina. Rosalina. Rosalina.
Nice. Very
Thank
nice. You. Oh, man. You guys are in for a treat today. Some awesome lyrics, and just you didn't bring the Alvarez, I see.
No, the one that Dan was excoriating. Yeah. That thing. I took that Alvarez to the desert because it is. I mean, it's so bad that there's nothing that even the desert could do to it. Thank you, Dan, by the way, for giving me that for free if you're listening. But you know what it is? It's a great open tuning guitar. It's a great slide guitar. You know that too. It has a very resonant sound. Does not better for slide probably than for open tunings because the intonation is horrible.
Action's really high.
Once again, thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.
Well, the Gibson sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice. So I think I first became aware of you playing with Mark Diggum. That's like your first, I guess, introduction to the Pittsburgh music scene kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
More or less. I was in bands in college, but they sort of were focused on college. They were pretty college-centric.
Indie sounding or like this type of folk stuff?
No, I don't know. No, neither. The first band was... It was such a weird mix of things. There were some very good moments and some incredible players and writers, but I don't think we knew what we wanted to be. So there was rock, there was country rock, folk rock. There was sort of weird, like, romantic instrumentals and yeah. So and that was just cutting my teeth, I think. And I was in a group with Guy Russo, who I believe has been on the show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Later on, and that was folk. That was 4-part harmony, folk music.
Yeah, the in Recluse, that's more like a rock type of project for you, or?
Yeah, so Recluse is my current project, and that is straight rock and roll. I mean, Elton John, Elvis Costello, very, very piano driven, but rhythmic and hopefully moving.
Yeah, I've heard some tunes, on other radio stations. Be nameless.
Oh, is there a rule?
I don't know. The coverage doesn't come all the way down here.
Sure.
So. But the whole it seemed like you were playing in every band. Following on Facebook or whatever. It's like, oh, Zoob's here. Zoob's playing with all these different folks, and it's cool. That.
Yeah, when I was coming up, I had the philosophy that if I said no to something, I closed that door. I never wanted to do that if I could avoid it. So I played in just about everything. Almost anyone who asked, I would say sure. And I think that's important as when you're in your early 20s and trying to make your way into a scene. I think it's not the worst thing you could do to leave yourself open to every opportunity, no matter what direction it comes from.
Yeah, you never know where it's going to lead, and what connections you're going to make, and
right.
Had a few. Yeah.
I see a lot of younger people coming up doing similar things, and I think I would encourage just about anyone if anyone wants to know how to become a mid-level rock musician in a mid-sized city. Just listen to me. I have great advice for you.
So you came here for college at CMU.
Yes.
But you grew up in New York.
I did. Yeah.
In what part? Like the city, part outside the city, the suburb?
No, in the city.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my parents still live in New York City. I grew up on the Upper West Side, and a couple years we moved to Queens, but then we moved back to the Upper West Side. So yeah, right in the thick of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And from the times that I've spent there, and I remember seeing, like, I was at the bitter end playing a showcase deal,
sure, yeah.
And there was a 12-year-old kid just hanging out, listening to the music and thinking like, where are your parents, kind of thing, like, but that's like, normal, right? I mean, just like being in the city, you're in the city. I guess like the sensibilities are totally different when you grow up like that, right?
I don't know what's normal for the bitter end, but it's certainly not unheard of. I was about 12 when my mother started letting me go on the subway alone, which in hindsight seems like a horrifying decision because it's a big, dangerous place and you get swallowed up, and we didn't even have cell phones at the time, They existed, but, they didn't really give them to kids yet.
Yeah.
But I think that was just part of it, that the city is. I'm gonna use a word that I'm gonna bite off more than I can chew. Navigatable.
Mm-hmm.
Navigable.
Yeah.
It's very easy to navigate when you know the lines and where you want to go. So yeah, they let me have kind of the run once I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
It must be cool. I mean, you're like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out at Central Park. Or whatever.
I mean, I had a curfew.
Yeah.
Well, you still don't want to hang out at Central Park after dark.
Yeah, but I mean, when we survived somehow. We didn't have car seats when I was growing up.
No.
No, they buckled you in, and they didn't even have shoulder strap. You had to cross the waist, and
Right.
it was like, hey, when the sun comes down, come home. We somehow managed to survive that, and that's like today. It's just like I think the anxiety level is just so high about everything. I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't begrudge any parent who wants to keep a tighter leash. I do think that independence is important for a child, but you survived. But there are kids who probably needed that car seat. There's nothing wrong with that kind of innovation, right?
Yeah, they needed more than a car seat, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like a kid leash.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you want to do another song?
Sure.
Okay, cool. What do you want to play for us?
This one, I totally know the name of the song, and I'm just blanking on it right now.
And this is from your debut solo record?
No, though I can play something from that next. This is from, I worked with a playwright named Claire Drabat on a play that was put up at the New Hazlet Theater last October. And it was about two songwriters who were in this very small town, and I wrote the songs for the songwriters. The actors performed on stage. It was not a musical per se, but it was a play with music.
Gotcha.
So this is one of those songs.
All right, cool.
All the arguments to make, and all the consequence. I've been sleeping in on Sundays and waking up with carols in my head. Every eye was to the sky, and every voice you heard was God. And even here, nestled in a down blanket, don't I have the gospel on my tongue? Oh, doubt is a craven thing, black as a raven's wing. Let me taste the earth while I'm alive. You can bury me with ashes on my It's true, there's comfort in the law. He loves you like the shepherd loves the lamb. But understand and hear him on the waiting and the four horsemen. I am working with the Spirit in my hand. I am working with the Spirit in my hand. Oh, doubt is a garish thing, blue as a bunting's wing. But let me dress in silk while I'm alive. You can bury me in sackcloth when I die. If every eye is to the sky, and every voice you heard was God, even here Adam on the wild rushes, I have the gospel on my tongue? Even here, don't I have the gospel on my tongue? Don't I have the gospel on my tongue? Even here, don't I have the gospel on my tongue?
Yeah, that was your warm-up song. Just
Could have warmed up a little more, I think.
no, awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
That's not on the record yet?
Not yet. No, I'll be on the next one.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's one of those. We were talking about that, the lyrically condensed, just being able to take the words and put them down and just reach in and grab a hold of you, right?
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, you got my attention. So we were talking a little bit about some of you started playing when you were, the typical kind of like 14-year-old wants to play guitar, kind of meet a girl thing. And then did you start like forming a band then and everything before your college? Were you like doing any of that kind of stuff prior to that?
Yeah, well, so I started singing earlier than I started playing guitar. I was 11 when they call it graduating from 6th grade. I was in an elementary school that was just an elementary school, didn't go past there.
Yeah.
And there was a graduation ceremony. You could do one of two things: you could speak, or you could perform some way. I had a friend who was learning guitar, and he too was 11, and he had just learned Pinball Wizard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I had never heard of The Who. I had never listened to Tommy, but I bought the record because he wanted to do that song. I said, well, "I'll play guitar, you'll sing it. We'll do Pinball Wizard at this graduation ceremony." So I bought the record, and it absolutely, changed my life. It seems like actually kind of. That seems like an understatement. It really kind of made me,
Yeah.
So I started singing, and I started singing in a band with this person who had introduced me to The Who and was learning guitar, and we had this like I want to call it baby metal. That's an actual genre though, so it wasn't that. But we were babies. And we were trying to make metal music.
You're like trying to make like Black Sabbath kind of stuff, or
yeah.
Metallica.
I mean, if we had reached those levels, I would probably still be making hard rock and metal.
Oh yeah.
No, we were bad. We were kids.
Yeah, and you want to play fast, and you want to play loud.
Exactly. Yeah. So we played CBGBs a couple times, and
Oh really?
yeah. That was not. It's not that. That sounds impressive. It wasn't hard. You just asked.
Was it like open mic night or something like that?
Not quite, but it was something.
Like,
yeah, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. It wasn't a big night for them.
Yeah, it's like the songwriter showcase thing. You submit to, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, come on to New York City and play a couple songs." And then
Right.
I had that happen. It's like you could play CBGBs or Bitter End on a Monday night if you can bring in 5 people.
That's right.
Whatever.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody just recently. Who was that? But just that I played the Rockwood last Monday with Paul Luke.
Oh, go.
And it was well attended, but it was a Monday night. It was Monday at 7:00, and I think it was his first time at the Rockwood. That stage, there's 3 stages there, and that's how they do it. I mean, it's a very Nashville way of doing it. You go in there on a Monday night. If you can bring people, they'll let you have the Tuesday, and if you can bring people, they'll let you have the Thursday, and if they bring people, then they give you the weekend. And you work your way up in the room by proving yourself on the off nights.
So you've played, like with so many people. I mean, I just saw it's Chet Vincent, right?
Yeah.
Like his band, or his solo thing. It was recently.
Yeah, it was a solo project. I'm not in the big band.
Okay.
Until I poison Dan and take over his spot. But he did a solo record. The idea being that he was going to kind of recapture some of the Acoustic Cafe essence. Acoustic Cafe, for listeners who don't know, is a open mic in Pittsburgh, and part of the magic of that place is that people collaborate. And in some instances have been collaborating for years and years and years on and off because of that place. So he wanted it to kind of capture that a little bit on a record. So he'd written all these songs. He knew they weren't quite right for the big band, but he wanted to record them, so he brought us together, myself, Guy Russo, Jesse Prentice, Reed Connolly, Josh plays drums, and I've forgotten his last name, I'm sorry, and Tris Imbronio to put this record together.
The vocals, the harmony stuff that you guys is just amazing. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to think of it. I don't want to make comparison. I mean, there's all Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young kind of thing, right? But
Hopefully
newer band. I'm trying to think of the
Fleet Foxes, maybe.
Yeah, they had that like really lush harmony kind of stuff.
Big influence on us, yeah.
I love that, like especially when you do it well. You know, it's like you guys, and I heard the live performance. I was like, wow, that's great.
Thanks.
Yeah, and you all have all great vocals. You know, Guy and I just recently met Chet at the Petty thing that we did. Is like, I had never. I mean, I met him on. It's like meeting him in person. A lot of people you meet on Facebook, but you just don't know. In person.
Sure.
That type of thing. But yeah, talented. There's just a lot of talent here in this city. It really is. That
undiscovered, exploitable.
Yeah, that latest music thing that they did through the YAP and the consultant from Austin. Did you attend that or did
No,
you?
I was on the road.
Yeah, I wanted to, but I guess I read that it turned into kind of like a blame session or something. But
yeah, I've heard a number of different things about that. We don't need to.
Yeah, but as far as the whole scene in music in Pittsburgh, there's really there's a lot of good people, and you kind of like it seems like you've played with all of them too.
I have been blessed to play with a lot of very talented people. I have not played with all of them. I've not even met all of them. I'm not even playing in the same genre as most of them. But I have had my little slice, and I'm honored to have been asked to do as much as I have been.
So Pinball Wizard, but I was funny when you were talking about that. And didn't you do did you have there was a Who show?
Yeah, we did. We did 3 of them over the years. The first was just Josh Verbanitz, Guy Russo, James Russian, Max Somerville, and I. We just were like, we've all dreamed of playing this album live, and we all know each other, and we all know the record back to front. Let's just do it. So we booked a date at Club Cafe. We just decided we're gonna take this album apart and do it as accurately as we possibly can. No frills, none of the musical stuff. just kind of recreate the album to our best of our ability, just as basically to honor it because of what it meant to all of us. I don't overstate when I say that I couldn't be here. I wouldn't be a musician probably if it wasn't for that record. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, maybe something else would have been. Maybe it would have been Rush, but it was The Who and it was Tommy.
Well, hey, you want to play another song?
Sure.
Yeah, cool.
I'm going to attempt this song. I actually haven't played this in a minute.
We're listening to WNJR in Washington, and we have just tuned in. Nathan Zoob is playing some tunes for us from Pittsburgh, from Wreck Loose, his band. If you go to nathanzoob.com, that's ZOOB, and all your links are there, right?
Yep. All my merchandise. You can buy things. Help me forestall getting a day job for a little bit longer.
There you go. So what are you going to play for us?
This is a song called California's Burning. You set me back a month, dear, as cleanly as you could. But California's burning. My heart is in the woods. Did you think that all the waiting had done me any good? Well, California's burning, my heart is in the woods. What else can I say? I think about you every day. What else can I do? I'm still in love with you. I leave you to the city and your struggles with the law. California's fine, dear. It might be time to call. What else can I say? I think about you every day. What else can I do? I'm still in love with you. What else can I say? What else can I do? I'm still in love with you.
Nicely done.
Thank
That
you.
was very tasteful.
Thanks.
Seriously, like you hear those certain songs where you feel like you're like, okay, I could be traveling down the road, like kick back, and like it's like a relaxing song,
I have this vision for it. That's another one that I haven't recorded. A lot of these are new, actually. They've all been new so far.
Yeah.
But I have a vision for it where it's just everywhere. 2 guitars, 2 voices, this light organ wafting in and out, and just kind of like headphone music. If I have my druthers.
There you go. Well, the ones you played so far are already a whole new EP right there.
Yeah, I'm holding out for a record, but I'm getting pretty antsy to start recording, so maybe I do end up with just a series of EPs.
That's the thing now. And it seemed like everybody releases EPs and then puts together a CD after that. You know, but that had a very I was thinking when I was not to compare you to anybody, but it just reminded me of like a Nick Drake, Sam Beam kind of vibe. Like that.
High praise, thank you.
Yeah, like that kind of nice stuff, man.
Thank you.
So, Pinball Wizard, I get
back to the important things.
Well, like that came out when I was in high school,
Yeah.
or like when I was in middle school, So like Elton John was like that's when he started taking off. So seeing him and Tommy like doing the Pinball Wizard
In the movie,
yeah, in the movie, that was like. What? He's gonna be that guy?
Yeah.
With the platform shoes and the whole bit thing, right?
Or they carry him off the stage.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was when they still had drive-in theaters.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'd love to see Tommy in a drive-in theater.
well, we had rehearsal, and literally got a ride from the rehearsal from my band when I was like in middle school down to watch it at the drive-in with, in my mom's 67 Dodge Coronet convertible. We're sitting in the drive-in watching Tommy, and so that was a really good memory to have, like watching that. I was like, Elton John's in this, man. It's like I was more in not that I wasn't into the Who. I was, but they were kind of like a little earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that, I don't know. They
when I dove into the Who and into Tommy specifically, I ate up everything that I could find. So I watched that movie. It baffled me. It still baffles me, but at 11 or 12, it like absolutely. It was confusing as heck. None of the characters were how I had envisioned them. The story was all screwed around. Everything is very heightened in that movie, and it's not a heightened record. I mean, it's a weird record, but it's kind of hushed. There's a lot of good rock and roll in there, but it's an acoustic record essentially.
Yeah, Tina Turner's character is like still like scary.
Yes,
I think about it.
Although, like, if nothing else is worth saving from that movie, Tina Turner's Acid Queen is absolutely worth saving from that movie, because that scene is terrific, and her version of that song is like, how do you even listen to Townsend do it after that? She owns that character.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot what I was going to ask you about the concept album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's something that's kind of disappeared from, I don't know, like putting together a concept album like that. It was either a combination of the drugs or, this kind of like,
well, it was incredibly novel at the time, right? It was very novel. Concept album like Sgt. Pepper's or rock opera like Tommy.
Yep.
These were new concepts. The album was a relatively recent invention. People didn't really think in terms of albums until the early 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to then go from this is a collection of songs, we hope most of them will be hits, to this is a collection of songs that I need you to put on headphones and listen to it from start to finish, and you're going to want to like take notes because you're going to be confused by these characters, but it's very important that you follow along. Like, that's a big leap to take in 7 years, So
yeah.
I think it became incredibly popular because it was such a novel concept, and then it became so popular that it was almost ubiquitous. Like, everyone was doing concept records, and now I think concept, like, bands will come out and say like, this is a concept record, or this is a rock opera. This is, American Idiot, right? Is a rock opera, but really it's just a collection of songs. The conceit is so ever present that you can kind of slap the name concept album on anything.
Yeah, and it 50 years Sgt. Pepper. That's kind of like the record you mentioned that changed it. Mm-hmm. Really, just the whole genre. I don't think we would have. I'm trying to remember when Tommy came out. That was
69,
okay.
Late 68.
And then Dark Side of the Moon. That was
71 maybe.
Yeah, those are the ones that stick in my mind,
yeah.
of being like those kind of records where you put the headphones on and you just listen to it the whole way through. Yeah. So, want to play another song?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got.
You have a name for this one?
A name for this one, or is this another new one?
This is another new one. Yeah, you guys are getting all the non-hits. This is called Your Favorite Vase. I had 3 cigarettes last night, sitting in the smoker's lounge, waiting on my connecting flight. You may be far, but you're never far from my mind. Do you think about me ever? John says it gets a little easier. Not holding out hope for the rest of the year, though. Doing dishes to the static on the radio. Who's gonna want me when I'm this alone? And I think songs about love are songs about death. And I never lost a lover I didn't try and bargain with. And it's strange how the space has the shape of your face. But I'm still putting flowers in your favorite vase. I'm still putting flowers in your favorite vase. I have these dreams where you're running to meet me. I have these dreams where you can't meet my eye. I can live with the fever, I can power through fall, but I can't get the best of denial. And I believe songs about love are songs about hope. Songs about innocence, songs about smoke. And it might take till the new year to find a measure of grace, but I'm still putting flowers in your favorite vase. I'm still putting flowers in your favorite vase.
Man, you get on the record. I mean, it's there.
Thanks.
It's really. I mean,
Thank you.
Your voice is just great, man.
That's very nice of you to say.
No, really. I'm really. I heard you sing, but the solo stuff, it's different.
Yeah, yes, it is. It's. I don't know how I would describe it except to say it's mine. It's
That's it.
It's a private thing that I then go out and often play in front of people all the time. But I write because I mean, there are many reasons why I write. But as of now, they are not to make a career on it. It's mostly because I need to process something, or I need to tell somebody something, or otherwise communicate. Or I don't know, you get an itch to make a piece of art, and you hope that you have the wherewithal to see it through.
It's got to come out, right? It's just like, it's like that. It's extremely personal, I guess, when you're putting this stuff down on paper and you're doing it, and then you go.
Yeah, to the point where I get scared sometimes that it's a diary entry and rather than a song.
And the folks that can do that, that are lay themselves bare in public, and then you get a response from it, and you're like, oh crap.
I'm not a weirdo, or I am a weirdo, but there's a lot of other weirdos.
No, it's just being able to make that connection, a human level that, still putting flowers in your favorite vase. Great line, hook, whatever. I mean, it's just like whatever made you think of that about, whatever?
I was still putting flowers in her favorite vase.
Well, it could be a number of different things, though.
Sure.
It could be a breakup song.
Yes.
It could also be somebody passed away, so you can connect on like
Yeah.
different things.
That was intentional. That's good of you to pick up on that, I think. I mean, I also literally say songs about love or songs about death. So the imagery is there. But I've known death in my life far too early, and I've known, heartbreak, and I there's an extent to which the emotional response is very similar. Obviously, when you're brokenhearted, that person still exists, and you can still reach out to them, and you can still communicate with them in some way. But the grieving process is very similar, and it feels, I think, there's a certain kind of loneliness that comes from both that is very similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a song about. I was trying to toe the line between, is this person talking about somebody who they just can't bring themselves to talk to, or who doesn't want to talk to them, or is gone and is simply, out of one way or another out of their life. And I think there's an interesting space to explore between those two.
Yeah. It is grieving. It really is. Mm-hmm. It's the same type of feeling. And when you're playing that kind of stuff and people are listening to it, that's the scary thing. It's like when they're actually listening. Like when you're playing and they're kind of talking and chatting and everything. But if you do that and all of a sudden it gets very quiet and it's like you're in church, kind of thing, like, oh, crap, they're actually paying attention. Yeah. That's when it's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
When the air leaves the room.
Yeah, that's a magical thing that I think we all love to do. So what's on the radar for you're still playing with Recluse?
Yeah, we're recording right now.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Working on a new record. Yeah.
Yes. I don't want to count my chickens, but I'm very excited about the process. Yesterday we had backing vocals in Kiki Brown, Mariko Reed, and Ann Sildonia, and they just sounded amazing. And also, those are three insane people. So hire them. They're incredible.
Okay. And where are you doing that at? We're
out at Music Garden Studios, which is in New Brighton. Actually, the studio used to be Jerry's Recordings.
Yeah. I was going to say,
Records.
You said New Brighton. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's where Donnie Iris did all of his 80s hits.
Yes.
And as well as many other people who've recorded there. But the real appeal was Al, who is the engineer, but and sort of our, I would say, co-producer. But I think we got a kick out of the idea of being so closely tied to Pittsburgh history. You know what I mean? Maybe trying to make lightning strike twice.
Is it still like all analog kind of stuff there, or kind of made the?
Not all analog, though we are recording to tape. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, not editing to tape, but recording to tape.
Yeah, I know that. I thought there's maybe Granati, one of the Granati brothers, had worked in that area too, or worked out of there. I don't know. Maybe not.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, but that's Jerry Records. That's a Pittsburgh institution. We could talk about the Pittsburgh music history stuff offline, but yeah, tell you a little stories about that.
Sure.
What and anything else in the pipeline that you're playing some gigs, like let people know that like, hey, come out to the show.
Well, I'm sure I'm okay. So there's the Calm Before the Storm on March 16th. That's with Mark Dignam. Every year Mark throws I don't want to call it an anti-St. Patty's Day show, but it's an anti-American St. Patty's Day show.
Oh, okay.
The conceit being, no green beer. Please do not drink whiskey until you can't stand. We'll play beautiful Irish songs and read beautiful Irish poetry and celebrate Ireland, for what it is, rather than for what I think Americans have made it. And that's March 16th at Club Cafe.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be there. Mark will be there. I actually don't have the list of artists in front of me, but it's always pretty long and pretty impressive.
Yeah, I haven't been to that, and I don't know why. I think maybe me just avoiding the South Side for St. Patty's Day. I lived there, and I was like, so I was like, I had my fill of like.
I
but yeah.
certainly don't blame you. This particular night ends up always as a warm oasis, but
That's good.
you have to kind of like walk through the Southside Desert to get there.
Yeah, it's love it down there.
Mm.
It that's a great place to go and see a show.
Yeah.
Club Cafe, and you want to do another song?
Sure, absolutely.
Cool.
This is called My Father's Name. My father's name is a ghost at the edge of my vision. The illusion of choice and the hitch in my voice when I sing. It is stamped on every rock in every field in the Shenandoah Valley. Pressed into the seams and curled into the streams of this town. Remember what you're made of, and who to be afraid of. You never get to leave, you just hold out for a while. Remember where you came from and who you owe your fame, son. Take it as a warning, keep it from your child. My father's name is a brand and a mark and a breath in the dark. My father's name is a hook and a chain and a face in the flame. My father's name is a war in my head and a monument to all the restless dead. And to all of the sons and the daughters who are cursed with the names of their fathers.
Wow, that's an amazing song.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
extremely
very kind.
personal. I understand where that comes from, somewhat. I wrote a few.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Yeah, he like all of a sudden he's like, I gotta put this down, man.
It's funny. I mean, it is a personal song. It's not. I was actually less thinking about my own father, and probably not at all. My father passed when I was very young, so mostly what I have from him is his name,
Mm-hmm.
And I have been given no reason to be afraid of his name, but I think that there is. I was reacting to a feeling that I'm sensing in the country, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of reckoning to be done. I think we're all learning, that our fathers were sinners, in a lot of ways, and in ways big and small, in ways that, like, wouldn't have been recognized at the time that we recognize now. And part of moving forward and being better is to recognize that and to kind of break the cycle ourselves, you know. So
Yeah.
we're laden down with these names, but they don't need to be curses. They don't need to be stones around our ankles.
Right. And it's definitely a generational type of thing too. You know, I'm older and grew up in a different time, you know, and you know, where certain behaviors were just like kind of like accepted as normal, which doesn't make it right, obviously, you know. But it's good that this stuff is like coming out, and
Yes.
that the
Yes, it is.
yeah, because either no matter what it is, you know, race, sex, whatever, you know, like these things that would be said, you know, backroom kind of joking around is our esteemed great one said locker room talk or whatever.
Yeah.
That type of stuff, you know, that would be like kind of like, oh, you know, only joking around, kind of, you know, it just doesn't fly anymore. It's not, you know, people are people, you know, and that's it. Don't treat people like crap. I think that's a safe word. I don't have to write that.
I was wondering what I couldn't say.
Yeah, well, there's a list. It's the George Carlin thing.
Yeah,
know?
sure.
And then there's like, you know, this paper I have to write it down on. Like, okay, Zoob said what at this time, you know.
I mean, you personally have to pay the fine?
No, I
to
don't.
The FCC?
No, I don't. No.
One of the first song I did, Rosalina, there's a cuss word in it, and I came to it and I realized I don't have a replacement for this, so I just didn't sing.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
You know, but I think that they did. I think that the whole thing with U2 went to the Supreme Court because I think Bono dropped the F-bomb on, you know, like the Grammys, and they were like,
right.
They're like, yeah, well, yeah, that's free. Like I guess they went to the Supreme Court, and
It makes sense.
there's kind of like this,
I mean, I totally understand a network policing itself and saying there's certain language that we're not going to allow, but for the government to say you can't say these 7 words seems antiquated.
It's silly in terms of why.
Right.
Because it's like, well, what's the reason? Well, it has to do with bodily functions. Like, what?
Right.
Okay. It's not like the other meaning of like, you know, I think so-and-so's a blankhead, you know,
Sure.
whatever. But, yeah. Well, hey, man, I've enjoyed talking with you. It's
Absolutely.
been fun, you know.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is a treat.
I think if we do it right, it doesn't feel like it's just like hanging out, like playing songs and talking. And what you want to take us out with one?
Yeah,
you got
sure.
Something you've been saving up? Like, okay, this is my.
All right. Well, I will do one that's from the record.
Oh, geez. Well, let me twist your arm or anything.
Well, yes. If people are to go out and buy the record, which I'm not saying you should, because I don't think you're allowed to say that on the radio.
You can. Yeah,
I can?
say,
You should buy my record.
Yeah, buy his record. Go out. This is...
www.nathanzoob.com. Oh, and March 24th at Cativo, Recluse is playing a show with the Buckle Downs and with Traxploitation.
There you go.
Yeah, got my plug in. Tapping on the wires, trying hard to get inspired, unaware that though you cannot see the stars when you're caught standing in the storm, they're still there. There was math to figure out. You were swimming in a drought and it made no sense. And you want, you need, you hope you want, you're feeling dense. SOS. Save our souls, SOS. SOS. Save our souls, SOS. In a sea of storm and urge, you would binge until you'd purge and then repeat. You found a direct line to God, Psalm 20 clicks above the Baltic Sea. You were sick and out of sorts, flying ships from port to port, releasing doves. And you love, 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 you hate how much you love. SOS. Save our souls, SOS. SOS. Save our souls, SOS. Well, your ship was going down, so you sent the signal out and now you wait. There is no island now, and the who and what and how would we create? Oh, SOS, save our souls, SOS. SOS, save our souls, SOS. Yeah, you were tapping on the wire, trying hard to get inspired, unaware that though you cannot see the stars when you're caught standing in the storm, well, they're still there. You were sick and out of sorts, following ships from port to port, releasing doves. And you love, you love, you love, you love, you love him when he looks like he's in love.
Nice. That was Nathan Zoob here on Acoustic Songs Live from WNJR Studios in Washington, Pennsylvania. Thanks so much for coming and playing for us here on the radio.
Thanks for having me, Mitchell.
Oh, it's been great, man. And tune in here on Saturdays at noon for 2 hours of Acoustic Songs Live. We have a live program from 12 to noon, and then from noon to 1, and then from 1 to 2 we feature artists from the show that have been on here, and that's the next portion of our program. So listen in and listen to some of the songs of the artists that have been on here. We'll have Nathan's stuff on here shortly. So have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
9